Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the...
Good morning. Welcome back to the trailer park. Sorry, guys, I had like dueling sound in my head. I hated doing a minute countdown on you, but I was trying to figure out what the hell was wrong. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Trump derangement day. I don't know what to call it because that's what it is, right? It is. Do me a favor and hit the like button and tweet this out. We are all over this morning. Of course, we are on Rockfin and Rumble, which are going to be our primary channels going forward. But we are on Beauty and the Boomer, or no, we're on Trailer Park Pundit. Beauty and the Boomer is on timeout. So if you haven't followed my Trailer Park Pundit channel, please do. I'm not even monetized on that channel. Who knows? It'll probably be gone before I even get a chance to get it to 1,000, but we can always try, right? Kate, yeah, I had like 5 instances running through my ear. How's my sound this morning? I don't have anybody here for a sound check. Oz is here. Oz is in the chat. For those of you who are wondering, Oz is in the chat this morning. He heads out to have his goal, as we say, to have his goal removed this afternoon. So I will be waiting patiently and eagerly for an update to make sure that everything has gone smoothly. And I know you guys will be too. So as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know. So wishing Oz the best today. Great sound. Thank you, Oz. Okay. Well, then I guess we're ready to do this. Oh, I wanted to shout out happy birthday to It's Cold Fusion. Happy birthday. And everybody else who's having birthdays out there. We got a lot of Aries around us. I don't know what's up with that. So many Aries. Mr. Craig Pasajardula's birthday is coming up too. It is tax day. He was born on tax day, April 14th. So let's make sure that we shower them in love for the birthdays. So we got a crazy deck today. I'm on YouTube, but I don't know how long I'll stay on YouTube because they might pull the plug on me. But we're gonna try because you're not allowed to tell truths on YouTube at all. Let's see if I can get my deck brought in here. How do I do this? There we go. Come on. No. There we go. Ooh, I like my background today. Purple face, blue smudging hand, pink waving. Oh, I guess that was supposed to be an emoji, but it typed it out instead. Thanks, Kate. This is like just a cheap dollar store juicy smoochies from the old days. Remember these? I think it's LA color. I am the queen of a dollar store makeup. I got like 5 lipsticks the other day for $1 on clearance at Walmart, and they're good one. Like this is Almay, but I'm not impressed with the expensive stuff. Can I tell you? When I do get a chance to use some expensive stuff, it's shit. I don't care what brand it is. Fair use for whatever fucking good it does us. I watched a really good breakdown on copyright fair use the other day, and it's just fucking criminal how YouTube has allowed YouTube has allowed copyright just claims everywhere. A lot of it is fair use, but because they send you a notification if somebody uses a part of any of your content and theirs, which gives you the opportunity to go in and try to claim, if they're making money, I want the money. And a lot of times it is fair fucking use, but basically you have to have an attorney. You got to take it to court. You got to fight it. We need a class action lawsuit so bad, guys. These platforms are getting away with freaking murder and extortion and so much more, We see it every day. Hey, if you guys want to help me out, now that I'm not monetized over on YouTube for a couple of weeks, you can help me out by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/trailerpark, or my favorite method, PayPal. I love it when my PayPal dings. It's like Christmas. So thank you all so much. It was a leap of faith almost 3 years ago to decide to do this full time. When I started, I was working. And then with COVID, it was like, okay, well, fuck, I'm just going to start doing this. And can I make a living doing this? And thankfully, because of the people that are around me that are supporting me, and you guys have kept me going for the last 3 years. I mean, sometimes it's hand to mouth, and sometimes that $5 coffee you bought me puts gas in my car, or sometimes it feeds my cats, you just never know, but it comes in handy. So thank you so much for keeping us afloat at Roar Media. And of course, you can always donate to Roar Media over on the Rockfin. The Rockfin is a nonprofit that is women in independent media. That's what we're here to do, is to lift up women's voices. So that we appreciate it so much when it goes to Roar. And then that helps us with, like travel. Amber and I have been into DC a couple of times. I go to Seattle. So that really helps us move around. And I know that we're planning on going to Australia. No, not Australia. Sorry. God, my brain's just not. We're not going to Venezuela. Argentina. We're going to Argentina in October. So hopefully we'll be down there observing elections and just getting some decent reporting out to you guys about the global South. We love what Convo does. If you're not watching Convo Couch, I know you guys are, though. How is everybody this morning? I see Ghost Art made it to my new my kind of new channel. Jilly's over there. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kate. Oh, you made it back. It's Cold Fusion. Happy birthday. And of course, Oz the Boomer's hanging out here. Oz, take a deep breath. I know you got to be stressed out this morning, because I would be, and I'm stressed out for you. So Patty and NYC, thank you for joining me this morning. I got a crazy deck for you guys. And I don't know, will Alex Jones get me kicked off of YouTube? It'll eventually get me a strike, I think. But hi, Jim. Jim's hanging out over on the Rockfin along with Kate. Kate, you're everywhere. Kate, I literally logged into Instagram to follow and like your podcast. And I don't do Instagram. So that's how special you are to me. And let's see if I can get the Rumble up over here. Oh, I shut it down because it was double playing in my ear. Let me see if I can bring the Rumble up. Make sure I'm not missing any Rumblers over there. Do I really have to type it into the search bar? It's kind of funny. Microsoft just doesn't let you search for things that it doesn't want, right? It just goes, nope, you haven't looked for that in a week. My content. You guys watch AM Wake Up? They had a good show this morning. Burma's had a good show this morning, too. Patty Tweets is hanging out. So is Kate. Welcome, guys. I think Rumble might end up being one of our main go-tos nowadays. And Odyssey. I'm going to get started on Odyssey this week, too. I had fun hanging out there with Yona and what is it? Death to Tyrants. Yeah, they're a funny group. Okay, let's get this deck started. Oh, you guys are filing in. They're starting to file in. We got a whole 30 watching combined. Yay. Every time YouTube knocks us down, we lose followers. People can't find us. It's just every time we take a slap, man, they just keep smacking. So we appreciate you guys hanging out. This day in history, there's a lot of crazy shit that happened on this day in history. Let's go back the furthest. Let's see. 1850. Oh yeah, Los Angeles is incorporated and becomes an American city. How's that worked out so well? Let's see, 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was founded. Oh, fucking lucky us. And that is Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and the United Kingdoms, along with the United States. Sounds like a group of bullies to me. And 1975, oh, you're going to love this one. Bill Gates and Paul Allen found Microsoft. Oh, look at the good they've done in the world. 1968, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. is assassinated by James Earl Ray, CIA. And yeah, and let's see, 1958, the peace symbol designed by Gerald Holtom made its first public appearance, displaying on signage during a protest staged by the British Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. So yeah, that's been around for a while. We need to be shoving that peace eagle straight up their butts. Or peace dove. It's a dove, right? Okay, let's get into stories I don't care to cover. So Harvard tells grad students to get food stamps to supplement their unlivable wage. It's paying them. Yeah. Harvard, just go get some EBT. That's what they always say. That's what Walmart does, right? That's what Walmart's doing. Like, we're not going to pay you a living wage or a fair wage, but hey, we have a partnership with the government that we get a huge discount on our taxes if you go and apply for EBT. Can I tell you how many times I have been in employment meetings, new hire meetings, where they give you a packet and they tell you to go apply for these things because they really want that freaking tax write-off. And yeah, it's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. Don't pay for, your workers, those who are your means. Not at all. Make the government give them food stamps because that's how it works. We actually have 2 of these headlines I don't care to talk about because there was a lot of them. Here's another one. Let's see. Japan breaks with U.S. allies, buys Russian oil at prices above the cap, citing energy needs. Tokyo one exception to the rule, binding G7 nations, and the dollar rules the financial universe. China can't change that, guys. China can't change that. So don't even buy into the hype that the petrodollar is being crushed globally, because that's not what's happening. So yeah, headlines I don't care to cover. Yeah, there's a lot of propaganda out there right now saying, don't listen to anything you're hearing about other countries coming together in the last 3 or 4 weeks to make alliances that hurt us. No, that's just propaganda and made up crap. Don't listen to that. It's not right. Any news on the Trump front? You guys got to keep me updated. I mean, of course, I was up early this morning trying to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and I haven't really seen much other than, of course, they're going to put a gag order on his ass and he won't be allowed to spew about it. And I haven't seen a perp walk. There's crowds, there's mass amount of media in New York hanging out waiting for this to all go down, and that's been kind of funny to watch, but I haven't seen much on the Trump front. So if you guys see something on the Trump front, drop me those links and we'll pull it in real time and see what we can do. Hi, Nautilus. Did you guys see Alex Stein, 99, yesterday, harassing the freaking media camped outside Trump's? Check this out. This is funny. Now, whether you like Alex Stein or not, I think he does us a necessary service, and that is getting in these fuckers' faces constantly, and he does that. I don't care if it's a city council meeting or if it's AOC on Capitol Hill. He's there just to annoy him.
So you guys won't even cover the real truth. You guys are a bunch of liars, a bunch of frauds. You guys are the real scum of the earth. Yeah, Hunter Biden's a crackhead. CNN, MSNBC, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden do illegal business deals in the Ukraine. Talk about that. Hunter Biden's a crackhead. The news will not cover that. Hunter Biden smoked crack. You can smoke all the crack you want. ABC News. Fake news. Oh, are you part of the fake news too? Yeah, Hunter Biden's a crackhead, guys. Y'all know Hunter Biden smokes crack. Look at y'all don't want to say. What about the laptop? Remember y'all said that laptop was fake?
Look at the background.
Remember the laptop's
They're trying
real?
to do a live show
Remember
back there.
that laptop's real, guys. Y'all trying to hide the laptop's real. So, guys, I'm saying this is a fake news media right here. All they do is lie. Should be ashamed of yourselves. Why don't y'all talk about some real news? The sex trafficking problem. Y'all don't talk about real news. You guys are all liars. You can't shut down the people. You can't shut down Primetime 99. I'm Alex Stein. I'm a real pimp on a blimp. Unlike these liars. These people are disgusting. They won't ever talk about Hunter Biden. They don't ever talk about the business deals in Ukraine. But they want to sit here and talk about a misdemeanor bullcrap deal. Talk about the truth. Talk about the truth. You don't talk about the truth. You're all liars. You're pathetic. You cover. You guys cover for a corrupt government. Out here trying to do fake news, not in front of me. No fake news in front of Primetime Alex Stein. Not today. No fake news with me. Not when 99 Alex Stein's in town. When I come from Texas, the fake news stops. I'm not going to let it happen on my watch. You guys report on what's really happening. The sex trafficking, the fentanyl crisis. Talk about any Bill Clinton's getting blowjobs in the Oval Office. You guys don't want to talk about that. Hunter Biden sleeping with Ukrainian prostitutes. You don't want to talk about that. It's funny, if y'all investigate, why don't y'all investigate Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Why don't you investigate who is sex trafficking to?
Yeah.
You guys don't do that. Y'all are fake. Y'all are the fake news media liars. Who did Jeffrey Epstein sex traffic people to? Was Bill Clinton on there 26 times? I don't understand. I'm not allowed to stand out here. I love how it's one guy.
Just walk.
I'm just saying, I'm the one guy you're bugging
You're
right
the
now.
one person not walking. That's right.
Okay, I'm walking.
You're the one person.
You guys are fake news media liars. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm happy you guys stopped your production. You guys are pathetic. Talk about some real news.
So there you are, Alex Stein shutting down live broadcast of fake news on the streets. He's just funny. I mean, screaming that Bill Clinton's getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. These are relevant fucking points. Like Epstein Island. Yeah, we're here because Trump paid off Stormy Daniels, and we've all known it forever and ever, thanks to Mickey Cohen. But this is what's important. Yeah, you're right, Jim. It does. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about the fentanyl crisis to hell and back on Thursday. I've got quite a few good segments because exactly what I've been saying for the last 5 months, that it's being made here in the U.S., it's being moved here in the U.S. Well, we're finally starting to see a little of that bubble to the surface with media. And of course, we saw the police unions woman arrested for shipping fentanyl out from the business account this week. I mean, this is exactly what Pasta and I have been talking about for years now. And, you know, they want to make it all about China bad, Mexico bad. Let's invade Mexico and eventually China too. But, you know, we're going to show you that that's not necessarily true at all. Okay, this one here, I put it at the top of the deck because I figure if YouTube's going to punk me, this is the one they're going to punk me on for the most part. Did you happen to see Scott Ritter on InfoWars this week? I think it was probably midweek, and it was madmaxworld.tv. Of course, that's Jones's thing. Whether you like Jones or not, I didn't bring this for what Jones had to say. I brought this for what Scott had to say. And, you know, I listen to Scott a lot because I respect his understanding of the military and the actual battlefield and what's going on in real time, not this shit that we're fed from CNN and MSNBC and, you know, our State Department and the White House, because I don't believe that's what's going on. If you listen to them right now, they're trying to say that there's 200,000 Russians that have been killed. I don't buy that number for one damn second, you know, and vice versa. I don't buy the numbers that they're saying. I think it's much higher on the Ukraine side. But if you're paying attention, there's this general I always listen to too. He's really right wing, but that's who's in the military is the really right wing guys. You want to know what's going on in the battlefield, you got to go where the people that know. So let's listen to Scott's scary message, because this is scary, guys.
May 9th is Victory Day, and on May 9th, because there's no more World War II veterans, the Russian population goes to the street in what they call the Immortal Regiment. They carry photographs of their grandfathers, their fathers, anybody who serves today, because they truly honor and respect the men and women who sacrificed everything.
And let that number sink in, 27 million.
27 million. You know, we lost a little over 300,000 casualties in World War II in both theaters. They lost 27 million people. So when people talk about, is Russia serious when they talk about defending themselves, they're 27 million dead bodies serious.
So that's the thing, is they're culturally ready for major death.
They don't want it though.
Exactly.
But they understand what's necessary to defend their homeland, and they will do everything necessary to defend their homeland. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we threatening their homeland? What threat does Russia pose against us? And the answer is, frankly speaking, zero.
But what do you see happening?
70% of me says we're all going to die. So go out and get drunk tonight, because you might as well live high.
It's funny, that's a gut level I feel like people don't get. We're on the edge of destruction.
So we got to stop being complacent. We have to stop waiting for somebody else to do something. Ladies and gentlemen, the onus is on you. The burden is on you. You have got to make the decision that you want to live. Therefore, you have to become engaged and insist whoever is in power in 2024 has to make arms control the #1 policy objective of the United States. Donald Trump has put a standard out there. Whatever you think about Donald Trump, let's put that aside for a second, because again, we need to stop this rush towards nuclear war. And when you have a candidate that says not only what he said last time, why can't we be friends with Russia? Reflect on that for a second. People mocked him. Why can't we be friends with Russia? He's put a standard out there. If you don't like Donald Trump, embrace the standard. Say, okay, I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I'm only going to vote for somebody who believes in what Trump has said. NATO is bad, nuclear weapons are bad. We need to embark on a policy that embraces arms control.
That was a really good one. You're right, Jilly. That was so, so just in your face. Like, okay, 70% of me thinks we're all going to fucking die. You might as well just go out and get drunk because what is the fucking point, right? And the rhetoric that we see coming from our side, from our country, I think they have the same idea too. They're just like, fuck it. We're, all else is lost. So we just got to fight to the death, right? I mean, is that what that comes down to? Yeah, that was intense. I know, Kate, wasn't it intense? I heard it the other night and I was like, oh shit, that's scary. Like that is scary. I tend to listen. I tend to listen when some people say this. We are closer than we've ever been. The nuclear clock is we were bitching when it was like 4 minutes till and 3 minutes till and 2.5 minutes till. Aren't we like 30 seconds away now? Like that's insane. And I remember back in the 80s when they rolled that out. And yeah, now it's super scary. Well, fortunately, we have the wing of propaganda that can control the narrative. Did you see the CIA's favorite little birdie is no longer a birdie, is now a dog? Yeah. So Elon has changed the logo of Twitter to a dog. So are we no longer tweeting? Are we barking? I hope they start calling them barks. You barked at me. That would just be too fucking funny. Because it doesn't make any sense with tweeting now. I don't see how it makes any sense. And you fought in World War III. What weapons did you use? Mostly memes. Yeah. Mostly memes. And that's a lot of us. We use memes to kind of throw our thoughts and our ideology out there, right? I know I do. Just like I identify with this meme and I put it out there. Truth is scary, but the lies lead to nuclear annihilation. Yes, it does, Jilly. Is my sound better, Amber? I cranked it up. Sound, it is the devil. We all know that. Let's see. So Putin, 95% of the world's terrorist attacks are made by the CIA. No, the CIA does not work on behalf of the American people or act in their interest. No, the CIA is a rogue element of the deep state and an expression of the will of the world's oligarch and their vision for a new world order. Oh, no way. And those are all just good memes. So when your government tells you who the enemy is, revolution is when you figure it out for yourself. Yeah, war is when the government tells you. And the revolution will begin with bipartisan census and compromise, said no revolutionary ever. Ain't that true? Did you guys know that there's going to be a new Hunger Games? Yeah, there's a new Hunger Games coming out. It's called the Bird and the Snake, but it's going to be President Snow's pre-story. So they're going to go and tell the story 10 years into Hunger Games and how he was a whatever you call it, he was on Hunger Games. So he was a contestant on Hunger Games. So I really like the Hunger Games series. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if this was an actual book that was wrote that they are doing it from, but I'll keep an eye out. Okay, guys. This one is 6.5 minutes long. We're going to make our way through because we're going to stop occasionally. Maybe I'll throw a few smart ass comments in there. But I just think that is so important to remind people the type of propaganda that we're living on and that we have been living under. We all think like, oh, censorship just started the last 5 years. No, no. The way they controlled the media has changed because of social media. They had to come in, and that's why it's so blatant in your face. But for all of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, they had us all under their thumb. They didn't have to do shit, right? The internet changed that, but they're fighting back. So this is, have you researched Operation Mockingbird? This is worth 7 minutes of your time. And it's not 7, it's like 6.5. So let's watch it.
Since the invention of the printing press, there's been a battle to control disseminated information. In the early 1900s, oil tycoon John D. Rockefeller took control of every newspaper and news editor of his era. He became America's first billionaire, paving the way for the power-hungry ever since. Thus began the gold rush for the modern world's most precious resource, the narrative.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
During a Senate committee investigation, it was revealed that the CIA had been conducting a covert operation to infiltrate and control U.S. media. They called it Operation Mockingbird.
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals. Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? This, I think, gets into the kind of details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
Over 3,000 CIA contracted and trained operatives were placed in key positions within top media outlets. Posing as editors and journalists, these well-paid actors never dared to question the effect of their lives on the world beyond their cozy studio.
How often does the CIA manipulate the media in this way?
It goes beyond your wildest imagination. Setting up student organizations so they could draw radical students in. 5,000 university professors co-opted to help the CIA manipulate people's minds.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there because I want to talk about this part, right? Okay, so he says that they've infiltrated all of these student groups, right? And I just watched a really good documentary about the CIA infiltrating groups. And, you know, I think most Americans would be mind blown to know just how deeply involved every major drug epidemic we've had in this country, the CIA is somewhere back there pulling the strings, right? I mean, I loved LSD when I was a young, you know, teenager in my young 20s. And I now know that most of that was on the streets, what was being sold and what was being moved was coming directly from the government, from the CIA, right? I mean, they've really admitted that with the MK Ultra and, you know, Dr. Gottlieb, all of his experiments that he was doing up there in Canada. I've done some really good breakdowns on this because I think it's so important. Do you think that it was just really bad back then? And when I say really bad, I mean, we know the CIA infiltrated every major fucking movement that was on the ground during the civil rights movement. I mean, today is the anniversary of Martin Luther King's murder, right? And we know who was behind it, even though our government will never admit it. I don't know, maybe 200 years from now, some information will come out and they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, we realized that our government was involved, just like JFK and just like, you know, Bobby. CIA was very, very, they have their fingers in everything back then, right? They're trying to say back then. This was back then. We've done away with Operation Mockingbird. That was just a trial thing. We just wanted to see if it would work. And then you go and look at the groups that were, you know, infiltrated. Gloria freaking Steinem, guys. I worshipped her as the female. Oh my gosh, she's out there leading the charge. And now I know who she really is and how she paid for her shit and how she did her shit. Grateful Dead was the CIA operation. Yes, I absolutely fucking believe that. They fund these groups. And I've seen it firsthand on the ground a couple of times in real time. You're looking at all of these hippie kids that have a shit ton of money. You're like, where the fuck did they get the money for that motorhome? Where are they getting the money for all of this? I mean, PA systems and, you know, when you're truly grassroots and you're trying to, you know, set up an event somewhere, it costs thousands. You want a stage and you got to have good sound system and good microphones. And of course, you got to have your banners out there. That all costs money. So when you see a well-organized group, Sunshine Movement, Summa BLM. I mean, we've seen it. When they have that kind of money to tap, there's somebody behind them, right? Okay, so we'll get back to the movie.
Journalists in the U.S., including big-name journalists, co-opted to function routinely to help the CIA put out stories and biases to the world.
As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will.
It's a great brainwashing process to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
Would you say that continues today?
Well,
Yeah, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations, I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
So how do we know that Operation Mockingbird still isn't in effect? Well, we don't.
It was the Telecommunications Act of 1996 that opened the door for predatory corporations to monopolize the industries of print and broadcast.
This bill protects consumers against monopolies. It guarantees the diversity of voices.
Today, a handful of corporate empires own and control the vast majority of everything you read, hear, and watch. From the biggest movie studios, television and radio networks, newspapers and magazines, to the vast universe of internet news and entertainment sites.
Amazon has transformed its operations in response to COVID-19 to protect employees and keep packages flowing.
The company is keeping its employees safe and healthy while still delivering those packages to your doorstep.
The company is keeping its employees safe.
Keeping its employees safe.
The company is keeping its employees safe.
Millions of Americans staying at home.
Millions of Americans staying at home.
Amazon.
And that is how it works. It's like a house of mirrors, where you're seeing the same thing over and over and over
He's
again.
just like a baby, so
Except
young
it's
there.
distorted.
There's an industry that is paid to go after and target journalists, whistleblowers, and inundate our consciousness and the images we see to try to ruin, destroy, or smear the idea that they don't like or the person who's delivering it.
You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it.
Oh, she would know.
And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
Welcome back, everybody.
News personalities are not the only high-paid actors to serve the propaganda machine. Most late-night talk shows are owned by the same corporate overlords and thus follow the same script, only laced with a laugh.
Our main story tonight concerns conspiracy theories.
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver featured a skit entitled Coronavirus Conspiracy Theories.
Like the claim that the moon landing was faked.
First thing to note here is that Mr. Oliver opens with commentary about conspiracy theories that are completely unrelated to coronavirus. This is a standard tactic used by propagandists to set a tone so that anything that follows will be seen through the lens of absurdity.
Plandemic, a pseudo-documentary filled with a hodgepodge of conspiracy theories.
Mr. Oliver then does his best to debunk Dr. Judy's claim that she was arrested but never charged with a crime.
She was absolutely criminally charged.
This was not an oversight, but a blatant lie.
Yeah, it was a lie.
Prior to the taping of this episode, Mr. Oliver had the official arrest documents that clearly prove that Dr. Judy was never charged with a crime. Mr. Oliver then attempts to debunk the idea that a beach, aka nature, holds any value in boosting our body's natural immune system.
No.
Instead of challenging the point with science, he kills it with a smear.
Everything that you just said is insane.
Television is not the truth. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Okay, we made it through the whole thing. I even got to take a bathroom break. Had too much coffee this morning. So yeah, I mean, this is shit that we all know, right? You guys are the smartest chat on the internet. So I know that you've seen this, but in the off chance that maybe somebody clicks on this that doesn't know, Operation Mockingbird is just another name now, but it's still going. It's probably stronger than it ever was, right? You know, especially now that they have these portholes and they can reach out to what they deem the press in real time. Yeah. And Lizzie, I'm there with you. It sucks to know your whole entire life you have been propagandized. Your whole life, right? Everything. And how many of us based our vision for what we wanted for our future selves off of that television, I know I did all through the 70s and 80s. Oh, this is how life is. This is how you're supposed to be, right? You'll grow up, you'll get rich working for, the government, because back then everybody worked for the government. My dad worked for the government. I mean, he was a civilian, but that's the way it was. And that's the way it'll be in the future, but it'll be a little different because we're going to be under war footing, I believe. Welcome, Jennifer Coolidge. Jen, why don't you hang out a little bit, pick up a little bit of information? And I think it's great if you actually have a job and now you're making $2,000 to $3,000 per hour. Boy, isn't that the American fucking dream? So yeah, I don't mind you trolling my chat with www.jobsrevenge.com. Oh, revenue. Okay. Jobsrevenue.com. But, I don't think anybody's going to click your shit. So why don't you just hang out and learn a few things? So I had to bring you guys a follow-up WikiLeaks because Julian wraps it up fucking nicely for us, doesn't he?
Noam Chomsky, in The Common Good, wrote that the smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but to allow very lively debate within a narrow section of that spectrum. We live in a mediaocracy. What is politically possible is defined by the media environment. I started WikiLeaks because I understood this reality. The media frame defines the political possibility. So to bring about meaningful change, we have to enlarge the media frame. With WikiLeaks, we've had significant successes in achieving this in some areas, but more needs to be done. The single greatest contributor to our expanding horizons is you. You telling your friends what's up, what you saw, what you believe, and who's full of it. Contrasting what appears in the Australian press to itself and to the world. You form part of the largest bullshit detecting machine that the world has ever seen. That's why WikiLeaks has such support from people exposed to the internet. That's why we have such support from this generation, because you're better informed. This is the best educated generation in the history of the world.
So yeah, he's absolutely right. We are the best informed generation, right? We can go out there, we can find the information for ourselves without having to go read, go to the library and pull cards. And it's just so much easier to access information literally from your palm now, if you go look for it. But a huge portion of the population does not do that at all. They just take the headline narratives that are being forced by whatever their confirmation bias is, whether it be CNN or Fox or MSNBC. And I tend to agree with Fox a little bit more lately, just under the Democrats. Do I really tend to agree with Fox? But let me tell you, when it was under the Republicans, hell no, Fox was just as goddamn bad as the rest of them. And we've seen a little pivot, but it seems like whoever's in control has a little bit more control over what they're allowed to say. I don't want to move until I show you this meme. I love this meme. So working weekends to pay for groceries and realizing you might get nuked from a missile using enriched uranium sold to the Russians by the Clintons. Now that'll get fact checked and they'll say that that's a lie. That's a lie. But we know better. The receipts are out there. Uranium One. They're out there, guys. So we can get fact checked all they want, but we know the truth. Okay, so we're going to stay on this theme a little bit longer. I want to talk about the Federal Reserve conspiracies, and we'll talk about the banks. I got a nice list of banks for you. And so let's start out with this one. This is the Fed conspiracy.
Creature from Jekyll Island. What is the Federal Reserve, and what is your answer?
Well, what it is, it's a cartel. It's not a government agency. It has the appearance of being a government agency, and they went to great lengths to give it that facade. It does have the power of government because Congress voted to give the power of enforcement to it. But in its essence, underneath it, it's a cartel. It's nothing different than a banana cartel or an oil cartel or sugar cartel. It happens to be a banking cartel. They got together, they drew up the rules and regulations for their own industry, to self-regulate their own industry is what cartels do, and then they sent it to Congress, and they took off the label at the top that said banking cartel, and they erased that, and they said Federal Reserve Act. Congress passed it into law, and that's why we think it's a government agency, is because if you don't obey the rules that they set down for their own industry, you go to prison. And so it looks like a government agency.
And what should be done, in your view, with the Fed?
The Fed needs to be abolished. There's no other way around it. You cannot take the power to create money out of nothing and give it to men and expect that power not to corrupt those men. I don't care whether they're bankers or politicians. You give that power to anybody, eventually they will be corrupted by it. It's not politically possible now because the average person doesn't understand it.
Yeah, absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know that. And if you think that the Federal Reserve is a part of the United States government, you need to think again and do some research, because that is absolutely not true. We have been duped as a society to believe that, right? And we know better. And with what's going on right now, especially with what we saw the last few weeks with the banks, they want us looking elsewhere. They don't want us freaking out that our local regional banks are going to go under, and there's only going to be a few conglomerates that suck the Fed's ass that will be in control of all currency for our country. We know it's coming. We see what's happening around the world. We see the alliances that are being made to crush the petrodollar, which we've always known. If you were a part of the peak oil freak out of the early 2000s, which I admit I was, I do, because I still buy that this is a finite resource that we're going to run out of eventually. We can't just keep pretending. Eventually, we will hit peak oil. But when? I don't know. You know, we've been told so many different things about peak oil, but really, we've always known that we got to come off the petrodollar, right? The petrodollar would eventually be overthrown by the rest of the world. And so now, here we are, guys. We're getting ready for it. If fiat currency is the means of production, body, blue, raised arm, go start. Yes. And once they get us, funneled into the CBDC system, they got full fucking control of everything. Oh my God, Oz, stop with your Celtic caramels. Hey, shout out to presidential candidate Uncle Warren's in the house. Hey, Warren. And Denver Atway, I got to shout you out too. Do you know I hung out with you all Friday night, whether you know it or not? That was a great conversation you and Yona and Death to Tyrants was having. I loved it. And I'm going to hang out on Odyssey more. Yes. So this is what Oz is talking about. Oz sent me these fucking terrible things. They are Celtic sea salt caramels made in Montana, and they are one of a kind. They are amazing. They are delicious. And Oz, oh geez, you're just trying to kill me here. So yeah, the faces of the devil, his subjects. We'll just look at that one more time, because really we know that they're just puppets. They're all just puppets, right? And you're not allowed to say anything about Soros because that's anti-Semitic. Don't talk about him. You're not even supposed to bring up his name because then you're being anti-Semitic. So let's look at these banks that answer to the Rothschilds. I turned the music off on this just because we are on YouTube for whatever it's worth this morning, and I don't need to take copyright for this. So let's go ahead and just let it run. Let's see if I can bring myself up in the background. Come on. There we go. Yeah, there I am. Okay, we'll just let it run. Oh, no music. Dang it. Okay. I think there's only 3 bars. So Bank of France, Bank of Spain, Bank of Mexico, Reserve Bank of Australia, Central Bank of Brazil, Central Bank of Argentina, Deschutes, Bank of England, European Central Bank, People's Bank of China, Central Bank of Armenia, is that what it was? Bank of Albania, Bank of Algeria, Bank of India, Bank of Afghanistan, United States Federal Reserve, Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and over 100 more freaking banks. That's who all answer to one entity, but that entity is not in control, right? So we just learned that the Federal Reserve is not a government agency. It doesn't answer to the government. But then the next step, we just learned that that same Federal Reserve is owned and answers to the Rothschilds. So people are missing the plot here. And did you see Bank of China, Bank of all of these people who are supposedly going to rise up against us, right? And want control of America. That's what they're selling us. Well, we gotta fight China for Taiwan, and Russia bad, Putin bad. We need coups, we need changes. And but you didn't see a Bank of Russia, did you? Did I see a Bank of Russia in there? I don't think I did. I could be wrong. And I'm not saying that, because definitely when you understand the hierarchy, it doesn't fucking matter, guys. I mean, the Rothschilds funded both sides of the Napoleon War, both sides of World War I, both sides of World War II. They put their money down everywhere, because guess what? It's eventually going to pay off. If they lose some money over here, so be it. They'll make the money back over here. And they know that. That's been their strategy since the fucking 1600s. The 1600s. So these puppets these marionettes that we talk about endlessly all fucking day long, Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they have no power. They have nothing to the oligarch that controls it all. And do you think the oligarch gives one shit if it's China and Russia in charge of a new world order, or if it's America in charge of a new world order? Either way, their vision for the fucking future is coming. Klaus's vision for the future is coming. Yule's vision for the fucking the future is coming. It's not our vision, for sure. So, there's ways that we need to come together and put pressure on these entities, because we can protest our government all we want, and we can vote, but we're never going to get out of this till we realize who the real enemy is. And, Tulsi Gabbard, at one time, I really liked what she had to say, the fact that she was military and she understood, and she was, she resigned from chair of the DNC because of vice chair, because of what Bernie they had done to Bernie. And then she just kind of fell back into that vote for the war machine mode over the last couple of years, and she's still there. So Tulsi thinks that we can just vote our way out of this, guys. Check this out. Oh, why do I have no sound? Come here, Tulsi.
Washington are able and willing to use the power of law enforcement to go after and target their political opponents. Everyone from parents who have the audacity to go and attend a school board meeting because they're concerned about their children's education, all the way to a former president, is evidence that our country is no longer a functioning democracy or truly a free country. It's time for us, we the people, to vote out these anti-democracy politicians and take our country back.
So there you go. Just take our country back. Let's just vote them out. Just vote for a bunch of Republicans, even though I was a Democrat, and I'll probably be a Republican soon if I haven't called it out already. And vote your way out of it. Vote your way out of it. So have you guys, I know you guys have seen, so I've got 2 slides of these. That's how many there is. So they need recruitments. We need recruitments. This is getting a little out of control. We're going to need a little bit more body count than we thought. So this is what we're seeing everywhere. So first off, 77% of young Americans are too fat, mentally ill, or on drugs, and more to join the military, Pentagon study finds. So Americans are not prime battlefield warriors, and they need to look around. And then I swear to God, every day for the last 5 days, there has been some different recruitment ad in my Twitter feed. So military jobs for civilians offer unique opportunities. See how to apply. Can seniors join the military? Why, yes, you can join the military. We'll just put you in one of those subsidiary categories like Kellogg, Brown and Root, and we'll call you a contractor. And by God, you can actually go fight in the war. And this is what we did during the invasion of Iraq. And I know because I lived it firsthand. My then partner decided to go work for a subcontractor and make a shit ton of money selling out to the empire. And here we go. Here's more. How can seniors join the military? Come on, Jim. You turning 60. You want to join? Come on. Why aren't you guys out there joining? Uncle Warren, you'd make a good soldier. I mean, is that what they want from us? They want to push our grandparents out there to fight? It's because they know they can't get the kids to do it, right? Promoting, pushing senior recruitment. I know, Julie, this is fucking insane. It's insane. And it's not just these or Twitter ads, Facebook ads, social media ads. They're literally putting advertisements on buses. Now, I can't confirm that this was America or Europe. I tried, but I can't read the little emblem no matter how small or how large I make it. But so international, join the International Legion for Defense of Ukraine. Medical insurance, hey, we won't give you insurance in this country. We'll give money to a lot of other countries so they can give their people insurance, like Israel or, even Ukraine. But fuck you. If you want medical insurance or even to make a monthly payment, you need to join up. Join up. Tired of being on welfare? Get off welfare and fight for us. That's really, is that what recruitment's going to be like? Like, okay, fine. You can have your CBDC allotment of 1,000 credits this month, but you're going to sign up to either do propaganda at home or you're going to sign up to be boots on the ground in a foreign war. Is that where we're headed? This is crazy, guys. This is insane. So Taiwan is set to receive Javelin missiles in 2023. Oh my gosh. They're really pushing that narrative, and they're going to keep pushing that narrative. They're going to pivot away from Putin, but I don't think that they can do that very quickly because Putin's becoming more of a problem than they thought he was going to be. I think they thought they could handle Putin a little bit more. So we see countries all around the fucking world starting to stand up and give the U.S. the big effing finger. And I don't know if you saw this speech from the president of Mexico, but this is what he had to say. This is the message to America. And I mean, this is our closest neighbor. Our closest neighbor is saying this to us. I think we're in deep shit.
Hundreds of thousands joined a rally in Mexico City with President López Obrador to mark 85 years since the expropriation of Mexico's oil resources from foreign corporations.
México es un país independiente y libre, no una colonia ni un protectorado de Estados Unidos, y que podrán amenazarnos con cometer cualquier atropello, pero jamás, jamás permitiremos que violen nuestra soberanía y pisoteen la dignidad de nuestra patria. Cooperación, sí. Sometimiento, no. Intervencionismo, no. ¡Viva la expropiación petrolera! ¡Vivan los trabajadores y técnicos de antes y de ahora de la industria petrolera nacional! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México!
I say Viva Mexico because it's probably where a lot of us are going to end up in the next couple of years. I already have friends that have moved down there. Yeah, they don't look like they're fucking around at all. Like, we've had it. We've had it with your shit. You keep talking about wanting to invade us. We do everything that you ask us to do, including setting up detention centers on that side of the fucking border so they can hold the immigrants that are trying to come to this country back. I mean, that was a demand that came under Trump. They did it. Yeah. You guys like the Velphomat. Hillary is the Velphomat. If you don't know, go research. And you probably could find this if you go to like Brave. Go type in Hillary Clinton and Satanist jewelry. Her and her little daughter love to wear inverted crosses. Now, they love to say that it's a sign of something else, but an inverted cross is an inverted cross. So, and they all do it. Like so many of the Hollywood stars, they all wear a shit ton of that type of the Satanistic jewelry. So, yes, Jilly, Viva Mexico. I love seeing these guys stand up to us, and you know, I think it's probably much easier for these countries to stand up to Biden than it ever would have been to stand up to Trump, no matter how you feel about Trump. And that's what we're seeing. So I think it was Saturday, I brought you guys a report of Harris is in Africa spewing Harrisisms, right? That this woman makes no sense ever. It's like, I mean, I don't even think she could teach a kindergarten class with the shit she says, but I don't think Africa's buying her crap. And this was the address. And I know Jimmy played this yesterday. Damn it. Jimmy scoops me on Monday and I scoop him on Fridays. That's just the way it works. But Jimmy got this one out first, but I still brought it because I thought maybe some of you guys haven't seen it. And it's pretty goddamn powerful that Africa is calling out our bullshit and saying we ain't going to fall for it again. And that's what we need. We need people to stand up and say no more of this crap, America. No more.
A country that has toppled so many governments in Africa, that has led so many coups in Africa and other parts of the world, a country that has killed so many of our leaders in Africa and other parts of the world, the killers of Patrice Lumumba, those who toppled Kwame Nkrumah, those who killed Nasser, those who killed Muammar Gaddafi, today are coming to teach us about democracy. A country that has been built on brutal force, on enslavement of other human beings, on the humiliation of Africans, the exploitation of Africans, the plunder of Africa, today is coming to teach us about democracy. If you have no respect for the dignity of others, if you have no respect for the sovereignty of other countries, you cannot claim to be a champion of democracy.
That was African Stream. And yeah, you can't claim that you stand for democracy. You can't. And I love that he calls, all of our murderous, treasonous shit out. And mind you, this is while our delegates are in the country. So I hope to see them pushing back, not falling for it. I mean, let me see. China's in town and they're talking about doing trade with you and being fair, and they want to help your infrastructure and your economy. Or America comes in and they just want to kill and pillage and take all of your resources. They'll promise you the world, but they'll never give you a goddamn thing. I mean, Haiti, there's so many examples of this, right? Afghanistan, Iraq. We're going to help. We're going to bring democracy. Yeah, Viva Africa. And these guys are standing up. Who would you choose? A country that's never invaded us before, who's never invaded anybody, say as China or Russia, or can't say that totally about Russia, or America, which has done nothing but hurt them for 100 years at least, right? I mean, even longer than that, 200 years, because you can go back to the slave trades, right? Speaking the truth, 100%. I love to see these other countries finally standing up to us. Stand up to the bully. God, we need it. Okay, so this one, I know some of y'all are Marjorie Taylor Greene fans, but this is funny and I just want to point it out. Now, I'm not calling her what did they call that? The DC pipe. I don't know what they actually named it in the media. Remember when there was a couple of pipe booms that were laid outside of the RNC and the DNC? It's kind of fucking crazy because normally the ATF loses their fucking shit when there is any kind of explosive fucking anywhere, but they can't seem to solve this one or the Georgia Guidestones. Seems a little weird, but look at the body on the surveillance from the person who brought the backpack and her. It does look a lot alike, guys. It really does. The movement of the feet. I know it's not true, but it's just funny. Memes are fucking hilarious. Remember when something goes wrong in the circus, they'll send in the clowns to distract the audience. Well, something has gone very wrong with this circus and the clowns are fucking everywhere. And yeah, for as much as she gets out there and says a few good things, I just find her a clown. I find her a right clown, just like AOC. AOC used to say great shit 4 years ago that got us all fired up too. She did a campaign in Mama Bear's office. She's going to fight for us. Yeah. So was it Marjorie Taylor Greene? I don't know, Jelly. Probably not, but it is a circus. Always look for the clowns. And she is definitely a clown. Oh, guys, Biden needs more money. He needs more money for another pandemic. Let's check it out.
From Congress. Well, we'll get through at least this year. We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. We have to think ahead.
So I think that the the WHO just said that maybe it's not a good idea for children to go get the boop boop, if you know what I mean. So yeah, they're certainly changing their tune. And let's see, what memes did I have on here? An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. Sun Tzu, yep. And then, of course, there's the media propping Biden up like they always do, right? We've even seen Fox News. Yeah. Looks like you, Shanda. Were you there? No, I was not in DC that day. I absolutely wasn't. Not at all. Okay, so this one, I mean, there's some speculation with this story. I've seen a couple people cover it. I think Kit over on Hardlands covered it. Actually, I think this is Kit. Yeah, this is Kit. If you guys aren't watching Hardlands Media, you guys go follow Hardlands Media. Kit has been on the ground working just as hard as anybody else since 2016. The first time I ever ran into Kit was in, I know I'm a youngster, thanks. I turned 50. I ran into Kit at the People's Summit, which, boy, that was a big Soros-funded party. But let me tell you, the food and booze was amazing. And yeah, Kit was there reporting in 2017. Kit has been on the ground trying to bring the truth for a long time. So go check out Hardlands Media. But this is Nico House. So what's Nico House? Is he a TikTok star now? I don't know. I don't do TikTok. Oh my God, the Chinese are going to get all of his data. Oh my God, hasn't he heard? Anyways. So apparently Nico's out there, sending out tweets and shutting people down in real time. And he accidentally may have stumbled across one of AOC's burner accounts. And the name on it is just horrendous because, yeah, these guys are evil like that. And do I think it was her? I do. But so let's watch this short little clip.
Send money to Nazis and to fund the Israeli apartheid. But at least you stood up to a TikTok star.
Nona!
And this account randomly responds to me saying, LOL, and what makes you think that I did anything to support Nazis? You're delusional. Seek help. Obviously, I thought that was a little bit peculiar because all of a sudden this random account speaking in first person when I'm directly responding to AOC, and like, why would I think a random account is sending money to Nazis, right? So I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. Then she responds again. It says, and hiding behind being a TikTok star, like, I don't know, you get over yourself. I was confused. So they responded twice. So as I began to put the pieces together, I'm like, let me check if they deleted the tweets because I think that I just figured out some shit. Y'all, she deleted the tweet.
So the name was like Zaza Demon on the account. And okay, first of all, why is this person talking in first person like they are AOC? Even if it was a staffer wouldn't use I, right? And then I love that instantly the account goes back and just starts deleting tweets. I mean, who does that? If you're just a random person on the internet, first you're not answering in first person, and second you're not going out and deleting all the tweets on it. I think she got busted. I think all of these guys have burner accounts that they use on the regular, and if they're not, their staffers are, they got to get out there, they got to push their point, right? Oh, if you have 3 or 4 people commenting on one of their posts or fighting the people that are calling them out, hey, it's pretty goddamn effective. So keep up the good work, Nico. Yeah, I don't see Nico around much. I mean, especially since YouTube has purged so many of the voices that we used to listen to. I follow Rockfin, but what am I missing, guys? Am I not on Twitter? Is that where I need to be? Or TikTok? I don't want to be on TikTok. Don't make me do it. I don't want the Chinese stealing any more of my information than the American social media does, right? They'll probably steal less, would be my guess. So, guys, we have had yet another train derailment. I know you guys saw this. This was in Northwest Montana over the weekend, and supposedly it was beer that was spilling out of the 26 cars that were piled up in the most pristine Montana wilderness fucking landscape that you would ever see. And they're telling us there was nothing in it, even though we keep seeing videos and pictures of some red stuff leaking out of it. But yet again, it's not a big deal. And why are we not talking about how bad the fucking tracks are? How many train derailments have we seen in the last 6 weeks? And nobody's mentioning that our infrastructure is fucking shit. So this came out. I think everybody should know this. This is a common sense summit. I don't know anything about the people that are putting it on, but I know that we all are fighting for, clean air and clean water and clean food. So hell, why not go get your input in on it? 1,000 train derailment takes place in the United States per year. 1,000 train derailments. Do you guys hear that? 1,000. Toxic chemicals are spilled into water, soil, and land at the rate that is truly absurd. There has been zero effective discussion or strategy to address these good catastrophes. Yeah, zero. This happens all the time. It'll be fine. The EPA now runs cover for industrial polluters. Oh, just now? They've been doing that since the 70s. The exact opposite function it was originally created for. We know all of our 3-letter agencies have been captured. The U.S. government is no longer protecting the basic necessities of life. No, they give no shits about your life. And United for East Palestine and the River Valley Organization invites you to an online summit for individuals and groups interested in advancing common interests of clean air, clean water, and clean soil. So you can screenshot that. There's an email at the bottom of it, or you can just go search the Common Sense Summit and find out how to sign up if you would like to have your input in on that summit. Amber, you out there? Amber likes doing those ones. Yona, you know what? I had so much fun hanging out with you guys on Friday night over on the Odyssey. I'm definitely going to come hang out again. Next time, send me a link and I'll bomb you guys. Definitely. It was fun. Odyssey's great. I see it working just like YouTube. The chat's very interactive. I think it's a good, clear picture. I think Odyssey, I've had Odyssey for a long time, but we were waiting for Odyssey to kind of catch up with what it could do. And I don't know, it looks like it has. Okay, I got one more. Is this? Oh, this is the train derailment. So this is Jason A. I don't know why it has Alex Jones on the cover of it. But yeah, just kind of a recap of all of the industrial accidents that we've seen in the last 6 weeks. So, of course, CDC team falls sick probing Ohio's train derailment. Yeah. This is BBC. This is the BBC reporting this. If you're one of those who's got to have a mainstream entity telling you something, well, here you go. The BBC is telling you that the team of the CDC that they sent into East Palestine has gotten so sick they had to pull them out. But what about the people living there? We can't talk about that. Okay, let's check out Jason A. What's happening? No, this isn't Jason A. My bad.
In Pennsylvania, capturing the moment part of a chocolate factory exploded. Take a look at this. Fox affiliate WTXF capturing exclusive images of the R.M. Palmer Candy Company going up in flames.
Tonight, the state of emergency extended in Palestine, Ohio after this disastrous train derailment. Multiple explosions causing massive fires lighting up the night sky, burning for hours Saturday.
No big deal.
Another investigation is underway in Ohio after a cargo train has derailed for a second time in a month. That's right. Officials say about 20 cars of the 212-car train went off the tracks in the city of Springfield on Saturday evening. Now, it's owned by Norfolk Southern Railway. That's the same company that owned the freight train that was transporting toxic materials when it derailed in East Palestine last month.
A runaway train derailing in the Mojave Desert, causing a mangled mess. A bird's eye view of the wreckage showing a large area of the desert blackened after Union Pacific officials say 55 cars and 2 locomotives derailed.
A huge fire at an egg farm in eastern Connecticut.
This all happened on Saturday at Hillendale Farm in Basra. This is video right here of fire and smoke just ravaging a large chicken coop there. And today we learned the farm lost 100,000 chickens in that fire.
Train derailment. First responders going door to door to evacuate the small town of Raymond, Minnesota, after 22 cars went off the tracks there.
Now to another massive fire, this one at a manufacturing facility in south suburban Chicago Heights. It sent flames and thick black smoke billowing into the air.
It started this morning at the Morgan Lee factory near 11th and Washington.
Also staying on top of a massive fire this morning that scorched thousands of pots at a plant nursery supply store in Osceola County.
At least 2 acres of pallets holding thousands of plastic pots caught fire.
I said the other day, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, what the hell is going on? I mean, is this a part of Agenda 2030? Like, okay, well, we'll take so many out with the, and then, oh, well, we'll just poison a bunch with all these industrial accidents. I don't know. Or is it just because we're in a country that puts no investment into our infrastructure at all? And I mean, some of this is just falling apart naturally. I mean, I do believe that about our tracks. We know they've been putting the money into the railroad CEOs' pockets. They, not into maintenance. That's the way all of capitalism works. So you don't put the money into maintenance. You put the money in the top's pocket. We know that. This is really sad and sick, and I'm going to keep an eye on it for you guys, but we need to be screaming our effing heads off and, putting pressure on the regime that's in the White House, because remember, they're supposed to be the green caring party. So let's see how much they care. They don't seem to be addressing any of it. And like I said, nobody gives a crap. Nobody wants to even bring up the infrastructure part of this, right? We quit talking about our infrastructure problems when Bernie shut up and fell in line, right? We used to scream constantly about infrastructure. Now it's just like, oh yeah, we forgot about that. So let's see. I got one more on this series, and climate change may see 1 in 4 U.S. steel bridges collapse by 2040. What the fuck does climate change have to do with this, guys? I mean, okay. Moisture, more moisture, dry heat. But it seems to me like some maintenance of our infrastructure would stop the U.S. steel bridges from collapsing by 2040. I don't know. Just my thought. Chris Hedges. The political system, as many Sanders supporters already discovered, is immune to any reform from within the parties. The only effective resistance will be achieved through acts of sustained mass civil disobedience. Like the Republicans, the Democrats have no intention of halting the assault of our civil liberties. The expansion of imperial wars, the coddling of Wall Street, the destruction of the ecosystem by the fossil fuel industry, or the impoveriment of workers. As long as the Democrats and the Republicans reign in power, we are doomed. And I think we all know that, right? I think that goes without saying. So, hey, Bernie wants you to chip in. How much are you going to send Bernie, guys? And he just doesn't even care that it's going to Act Blue. Remember when we were all anti-Act Blue and Bernie was, no, that doesn't go to Act Blue at all. It comes to us. Yeah, we know better now. You were just looking for the bridge one. You're welcome. Yeah, the bridge is falling out of the sky. I mean, I gave a speech in 2016 and I had just got back from Chicago, and I said that Chicago's infrastructure is falling apart so bad that it's being held up by the amount of homeless that are under the bypasses or overpasses. 100% true. And nothing's changed. And that was 8 years ago, almost 7 years ago. So I just had to bring this schmuck for you real fast. And let's see. Democrats join Republicans in a bill criminalizing speech critical of Israel. Now, we have been fighting the BDS bullshit, the anti-BDS for years. Do you remember in 2016, we had some major flooding in Texas, and a part of getting a loan from your government said that you're not allowed to talk shit about Israel. I mean, ultimately what it comes down to, if you even mention Israel, you're an anti-Semite, you know. This one was funny. I didn't bring too many funny, which is, it's hard for me because we're not doing a Beauty and the Boomer this Saturday. It's the first one. Like, I think Oz and I have taken maybe 3 or 4 Saturdays off in 3 years. So, of course, Oz will be recovering, and we've taken a community guideline strike, our second one on YouTube. So we're kind of shut down for a few weeks. But yeah, we're going to be more careful for sure with what we put on the YouTubes, or maybe not. I don't know. You can't predict what they're going to come after you for. So, I love that Jimmy Dore is tearing apart Bill Maher, but I won't be bringing as much funny stuff till we come back for B&B. So sorry, guys.
Bill, I know you're really rich, and I know I'm really jealous of you and your status, and that you have a show that actually influences the culture. That is true. But you have your head so far up your ass, you could see Russia. Because the democracy in the United States was stolen a long time ago, Bill. Princeton already proved it. They did a study that we live in an oligarchy. That's not hyperbole. That's not some kind of cute thing or a clever saying or a glib fucking remark. That's a scientific fact. That your democracy has been stolen from you, Bill, which is why 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Half the country can't afford a $400 emergency, and workers haven't had a raise since 1980. That's why we still don't have health care like the rest of the world. We still don't have a living wage, and we have people living under every bridge. We don't live in a democracy, which is why we can send $100 billion to the most corrupt country in Europe, while we still don't take care of our own people and they go bankrupt when they get sick and live on the street. So we don't live in a democracy. This idea that somehow one party cares about democracy while the others doesn't. You know, they both serve the same corporatocracy, which is what we live in. An oligarchy, run by corporations. We now live, as Chris Hedges has explained, we've experienced a corporate coup d'etat in slow motion. And instead of having a dictator, the dictator has now been replaced with the nameless, faceless corporate state, which controls every part of our being. They control our free speech. They control what medical treatments we get to experience. They get to mandate us to have experimental medical. We don't live in a goddamn democracy. That was taken from you a long time ago.
I love these mock-up spoofs. I mean, Jimmy, yeah, he said it, and I love that somebody clipped in Mar watching it, right? I think this is effective. We see this, you know, with the MSNBC and the CNN interviews where they'll take an interview and splice them together. This is brilliant. This is brilliant because I think that, for one, we dupe a lot of the mainstream people into clicking on them. I've seen people like, no way, they let Jimmy on here. It is a very clever edit. It's smart, and yeah. You know, satire, you got to be careful with satire. You know, I took that community guideline strike this last week. It was from the beginning of September. It was when the Queen passed away. And I'm going to be careful because I'm on YouTube. Anyways, I made a vampire reference about making sure that there was a stake driven in to make sure nobody was going to come back, right? But you're not allowed to make satire because when you're under this type of Orwellian censorship, they don't understand satire, right? It goes right over their fucking heads. So I see a lot of people taking a lot of hits for satire, and it's sad to me because that just hurts comedy. And comedy has been just had the shit kicked out of it, right? I mean, nobody's allowed to talk about anything anymore without being some kind of bigot or racist or, you know, whatever the millions of names they love to call people. And I'm hoping that soon comedy will break free and it'll just be in your face. You know, I'm a Gen Xer. We grew up with the, you know, get out there, take care of yourself, you know, don't let other people's shit get to you. And I just feel like we are so immune to that crap as Gen Xers. And now that Gen Xers are starting to come up in the world, I'm hoping that we'll get some out there. I want to shout my chats out. I got so many of you guys stopping by that I haven't seen in so long. Zoxo Voxo Vix, hi. Yona, of course, is here. Red Cloud, hi, Red Cloud. I saw Chris Foster come in. Hi, Chris Foster. It's so good to see everybody. Vic's here. Hi, Vic. That's Adams. Natalie's here. Hi, Natalie. It's so good to see everybody. I know it's hard to find us with all of the strikes and, bouncing around, but you'll always be able to find us over on the Rockfin and the Rumbles. Guess what, guys? There's 24 of you watching on Rumble. Rumble, we love you. We love you, Rumble. I'm so glad to start seeing people showing up on the Rumble. There's a little chat over there too if you want to hang out in there. And of course, Rockfin. Rockfin's always been our stable. Smoke more of the meats. Yes, smoke more meats. Oh, why did you say that? Now I want smoked meats. I've done some smoking in my life and not just the green. I enjoy smoking meats. I live in the Northwest and I've had quite a few smokers and I got some good brine recipes and yeah, smoking's fun. Cynthia McKinney. You guys go follow Cynthia McKinney's Twitter. If you don't know who Cynthia McKinney is, she was an amazing, she was a congresswoman, right? And she was one of the only ones to vote against the Iraq war. Of course, when you stand up against the machine, they crush you. And at some point, she even had to leave the country because of the backlash. But I love her. I love the shit she's putting out there, the platforms that she's pushing. So definitely, please, she was already. Who was? I'm not keeping up, guys. Okay, if you guys are out there in the Midwest right now, today, please get prepared because we saw over the weekend insane tornadoes, across like 5 different fucking states, man. Now, I used to live in the South. I lived on a bayou for a long time and we get them down there, but I was very far south, so they weren't as prevalent. You went a couple hundred miles up to the north to Arkansas, then yeah, they happened a lot. So Arkansas took some major hits. So, Illinois, there's just so many, guys. And what we saw a few days ago, I think what's going to come tonight is going to be worse. So this afternoon, of course, we've got a major front pushing in that is just going to make everything perfect for these spring tornado outbreaks. And we saw an F4 on the ground last week. People's whole entire lives are completely gone. I had a couple of videos, but you have to be careful because the storm chasers, they copyright the shit out of their videos and they get pissy if you use their stuff. And I don't think it's because of independent media people using their stuff. I think it's because CNN and local stations love to grab their footage and not give them credit or pay them for it. We see that all the time, right? How many times have we seen CNN grab somebody's footage that was on the ground and use it and act like it's theirs, So I get it, but go watch it. Oh my God, it's heart-wrenching. I watched a story about a woman who moved into a new house in Arkansas. The movers literally dropped off the last package at 2:15 in the afternoon, shut the door. By 2:23, the tornado had hit and it had wiped the whole entire house out. Thank God the baby lived. What did I hear? 60 dead so far just this week. And we're going to see more today. So I had to bring you an update from Ryan Hall, y'all, because that's who I go to for the weather. You want to know what's really going on? This guy knows it. And I think I heard that he's neighbors with Yona. Yona, you know everybody.
Over the past week or so, countless communities across the U.S. have been devastated by tornadoes. With over 60 fatalities, hundreds of injuries, and tons of homes and businesses wiped off the map, it's safe to say that everybody is ready for a break from tornado season. Unfortunately, it's only early April, so we are just getting started. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we have yet another outbreak coming, and why I think this one's going to be very different. First of all of our problems this week are going to be caused by this big blue blob. This thing is a trough of cold air that will be settling into the western U.S. on Monday. This is going to cause some heavier snow showers in the Cascades and down towards the Rockies, and the blast of cold air will make it far enough south to actually bring some snow to northern Arizona as well. For the most part, this is pretty run-of-the-mill West Coast weather. But do not be fooled. This big blue blob has more sinister plans for the future. While temperatures are plummeting in the west, temperatures will be rising quickly in the central and eastern U.S. In fact, it's going to be 20 degrees above normal in parts of Texas and Oklahoma on Monday. This warm air that's coming up from the south will eventually meet up with the colder air that's coming out of the north, and this is when we're really going to start to see the development of a full-blown storm system here near Denver, Colorado late in the day on Monday. The first people to feel the impacts of this storm will be up here in Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and western Colorado as the winds start to get really gusty and heavy snow begins to fall on the backside of the low pressure system. And that snow is going to get even heavier as we go into Tuesday. A strong low pressure system will eject from the front range of Colorado up towards the upper Midwest, allowing for a lot of that warm, moist air out in front of it to get wrapped around to the backside and turn into snow. And speaking of snow, this is going to be a blizzard up north. We're talking about well over a foot of snow for a lot of people here, and extremely strong winds as the low pressure system deepens. Now, this huge pocket of cold air aloft, along with the warm, moist air being drawn out of the Gulf of Mexico and the deepening low pressure system to the north, will be what sets the stage for our next big severe weather outbreak as well. You've heard me say this stuff all the time as it looks like severe weather is coming. Big trough, cold and warm air clashing together, nadir juice. It's almost like everything happens the same way every time, which is partly true. If I see something on the models that looks a lot like how a past severe weather event has unfolded, it sounds the alarm. And that's exactly what's happening.
Ryan is sounding the alarm. Ryan Hall, y'all. He does amazing broadcasts when these things are happening. He's chasing down the Dopplers. He's always got 4 or 5 different storm chasers that he is bringing in and streaming, so you get real-time information of what's going on. If you guys are out there in, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, the Ohio River Valley, basically, be careful today, be alert, know what's going on, because these things come up on you so fast. I've lived in trailer parks all over this country, and that is no lie. When I tell you I'm a trailer park expert, I've lived in a trailer park in Louisiana. I've lived in a trailer park in West Virginia. I've lived in a trailer park in Salt Lake City. And yeah, all these places are looking to have some seriously bad weather today. And why they love fucking trailer parks, they say it's because of the amount of heat that trailer parks conduct. I mean, I live in a metal box. It's a Faraday box. It cuts my phone off. Like, I have to go outside to make an important phone call because it will drop my call. So I do believe that there is something, associated with the amount of heat. These things love ditches. They, especially when you get down towards the south. I went through a tornado in Louisiana, and the scariest shit is when it goes green. If you're just minding your own business and you look up and everything is a strange hue of fucking green, go get your ass in a bathtub, get a mattress over you, go get in, most of these places don't have basements, especially when you get to the south, because you dig a hole. Yes, trailers are tornado fodder. Yes, Julie, they absolutely are. And they're gone in 2 seconds. Like, you hear a noise, it sounds like a train, and boom, your whole fucking life is, 5 miles down the road sitting in a tree. I used to be so obsessed with tornadoes back in the 90s. I guess it was the whole Twister days, right? And I did a lot of driving from Seattle to Baton Rouge. So I took a couple of different routes, going through the Midwest. So I've seen Tornado Alley. I've seen these things come in, the way they come across the plains. It's scary as shit. It's so scary. So thoughts out to everybody today, because I think there's going to be a lot of people hurting tonight. And when they hit at night too, oh my God, you're in bed, you're sleeping, all of a sudden it's 2:00 in the morning. It doesn't fucking care. It's just going to come land on your house. Shit, that sounds scary. Yeah, it does sound scary what's coming. So, of course, we saw the new governor of Arkansas this week asking for federal assistance. So Thursday, I will end socialism in Arkansas. Friday, tornado. Saturday, I need federal assistance. Isn't that the way it always is? Who thought she'd be a governor? Well, her daddy made sure she was a governor. And I need to reface Biden onto this one. It says, vote for the Democrats or it gets the Republicans again. It says, please, mister, I just wanted health care. Funny memes. This war will be fought by memes, right? Okay, she'll never go away, guys. I don't know why Lori Lightfoot will not go away, but I had to bring you this because you can see the pain in her eyes. Just see the hurt, see the pain, because it's there, man. She looks a little scared, for a lack of any other word.
Chicago! Right. So it's a blessing to be here with all of you. It's a blessing to continue pushing forward. We're running through the tape, folks. We're not done yet.
Why are you still here?
This will not be our last ribbon cutting or groundbreaking. There's more work to be done. And the menu items here, I think, bear a little bit of notice as well. Plant-based burgers, dairy-free milkshakes, soul food like rib tips and kale greens that are actually made from vegetarian, vegan. But let me say this in closing. Two things. People ask me, how are you doing? We are fine. And as you heard, and I believe strongly, God has another plan.
Yeah.
Doors will be open.
Doors will be open.
Yeah, the Titanic.
I ain't going to no unemployment office. The only way I'll go, if it's my last resort. Number 999. Come on down.
You could see the pain in her eyes, like, well, I know there's a future. And they always say that, right? All candidates, when they lose, they're like, well, I've meant to do something else. I don't need a title. I'll always have something to do. I've seen this. She's hurting. Well, her face is killing me. Funny, Jilly. That's hilarious. Yeah, she's gonna ride this one out to the last day, and then they don't go away, right? The Democrats will lift her up. They'll give her a fucking DNC chair to where she's on TV constantly, and she's doing the pundit thing. Manual. I mean, this is what we're used to, and this is what they'll do. They'll rehabilitate her and get her back out there, and then she'll run it for Senate or fucking something else, and that's what they do. So don't count her out. She's not gone yet. We still got plenty of Beetlejuice jokes to make about that woman. I think we're winding this down, but of course I got the memes at the end. The FBI, when you make a Hillary Clinton meme, I wish I was joking, but that seems to be the reality of it. And we're talking years later. Make a meme in 2016, they'll come get you now. I never know. Like this show, when I'm building a show, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be on YouTube. I don't know if I can say that, but it doesn't matter, because if they change their standard in the next 6 months, they'll just go back and hit us, right? That's what they always do. Honestly, though, guys, I sent out a note to our Patreons yesterday, just kind of letting everybody know where we're going to be and what's going on for the next couple of weeks while we ride through our, involuntary shutdown. And I deserved it. I did deserve it. It's the only strike that we've ever gotten out of all the strikes. And I think we've had a total of 3 or 4 strikes over the years, but they fall off after so long. This is the only one I actually could say, okay, I could see if you took it wrong, how it would be inciting. But so we'll ride it out. Let's see. The American people, the government. Why would the Democrats do that? The American people, the government. Why would the Republicans do that? And, we're in the middle of this good, bad game, right? Whoever's in charge, the opposite person is the bad guy. And we're going to keep doing this, especially as we go into this 2024 election. Any news on Trump, guys? Any news? Has he done his perp walk yet? Has anybody got any video of him? Did the judge put a gag order on him yet? I don't know. What time is it on the East Coast? 12, 1, 2. It's like almost 3 o'clock there. Let me know if you've heard anything. I just got to tell you guys, I got a theory about this. I think the Democrats are doing this on purpose, and I don't mean they're doing it on purpose because they think that Trump will go down or they're going to get him this time. I think they're scared to shit of Rick DeSantis, and they need to take Trump on, not Rick. And so that's why they're doing this, to ensure that they rile up Trump's base. Just my thought, just my theory. I could be wrong, but remember, the Democrats are better when they're losing. Look at all the fundraising they got to do under Trump. 4 years of, please take our money and get rid of Trump. I mean, they made a ton of money, and they were always the good guys calling Trump out for every bad thing he said and did, right? There was always a rebuttal to everything he said by one of the Democrats. I think the Democrats are happiest when they're not in control. Look, they have been smeared and crapped on and beat down since Biden got in there. And yeah, do they actually have more power as Biden where he is? I don't know. I think it's just different power, right? It's just different. I think the Dems do better when they're losing, and they know it. Oh, Obama bringing joy to the people. So Chicago Neighborhood says Obama Center is raising the rents and forcing them out. Of course, Obama's presidential center, they're not even calling it a library anymore, is being built. And of course, let's gentrify a neighborhood and make those people, lose their security to make Obama happy. That's the way it is. We know what happens when Chanda makes predictions. Oh, fuck, Kate. I'm sorry. I'll quit doing that. I promise. I promise. But I think I'm right. Being inside the Democrats for as many years as I was, they love it when they're the underdog, because that's when they get all the love and the support, and all of the people who don't pay attention to politics or half-ass pay attention go, oh shit, stuff's really bad under Trump. We got to come together with the Democrats. And that's where the Democrats had so much power coming into 2020. And I think they want that power back, right? So we'll just see. I know they definitely don't want to go into 2024's race with a candidate that could ultimately beat the shit out of them. And I see that in DeSantis. I don't know Trump so much because he's polarizing. I mean, he's got the people, but it'll be harder for the Dems on the debate stage, on the campaign trail, if they have to take a real candidate on. Just my thought, just my theory. So when the government's boot is on your throat, whether it's a left or a right, it is of no consequence. Yes. I love my brothers and sisters out there, but I see a lot of them saying, oh, fuck this, I'm voting Republican. I'm just going to get behind the Republicans and I'm going to push the Republicans. Yeah, well, don't forget what the Republicans were doing 2, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, there was a lot of shit there we couldn't get behind. Yeah, there's some things that I agree with them on and that I will stand up for. But no more of this blindly following people. I won't. And I don't think that we can vote our way out of it anyway. So there you are. Let's see. Shut up. My government loves me. Yeah, your government loves you for sure. Oh, I got 2 more memes. Here we go. Who is this chick on the right? I recognize her from somewhere. Of course, George Carlin says, I got this real moron thing I do. It's called thinking. And I'm not a very good American because I like to have my own opinions. I have certain rules I live by. My first rule is I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing. 0. And I don't take very seriously the media or the press in this country. And that was how many years ago? And our last one is snarky memes. The U.S. needs to stop China's rise by militarily encircling it and waging economic warfare and crippling nations who are aligned with it, and staging proxy wars and saturating the world in propaganda and crushing free speech, because otherwise a tyrannical regime might take over. Katie Johnstone. Absolutely. Great meme. I didn't bring it. Let me see if I can go grab it real fast. Oz, I want to show your work off. Where do I find it? I know it's in my chat. So if you guys didn't know, Oz has started a Substack. Please go find it. Let me see if I can find the name of it for you guys. He's actually starting to do some writing over there. The name of it is Oz Unfiltered. So Substack, Oz Unfiltered. And he just dropped this thing called Orwell Blushes. Yeah, Orwell Blushes. Let's see if I can grab this and show you guys. Come on, you got to share. Where is it? Where is it? Is it that Facebook? No. Sorry, I got too many Facebooks open. I always have too many Facebooks open. Is it this one? No. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. So here we go. This is Oz's new creation. So what he's doing is he's taking our AIs and he is writing the article. So you can see he wrote this article. This is an amazing article, guys. It's about the Patriot Act and, the new act that they're trying to pass and just how Orwellian it actually is. But he's put it to the AI.
As Orwell blushes bipartisan destruction of your right, the Patriot Act violated civil liberties and privacy rights and supercharged the ability to overreach and abuse power by government agencies.
Kind of creepy.
The law has been the subject of ongoing debate and legal challenges, with some provisions being struck down or modified by the courts. The constitutionality of SB 686 is very certain to violate the rights and principles established by the Constitution. As Orwell blushes, we the people are being systematically diminished and betrayed. We may be watching the Restrict Act, S-686, Patriot Act 2.0, targeting the United States Constitution's last breath by those pretending to be elected through a democratic process. The United States Constitution is...
I'll let you guys go watch the rest of it. So that way you have to go sign up instead of me playing the whole thing for you. Oz did a great job. And I think this is going to be a really good tool for us at Roar. Oz is just such an innovator. He's out there getting so many cool things for us. So, and these will be easy to share out. So, and that's the point. We keep them short and sweet. Now how do I get rid of this? Stop. Escape. Okay, there we go. I'm back. So guys, I know I was supposed to have Johnny on last Friday, but he was traveling and had a family emergency, and boy, he was traveling. I mean, he was moving from Chile to Madrid to, back to where he's from. And so he promises he'll make it this Friday. I've got an amazing show. I've been working on this show for 2 weeks. If you've ever looked at Johnny Vedmore's work, oh my God. I mean, I'm going to be overwhelmed with questions to ask him. He loves history. He's rooted in history, just like a lot of us are. He goes back, he shows you the source. He's been doing an amazing series called the Black Hand series, which he kind of breaks down. If you're really into kind of like old espionage, Hollywood, that type of thing, I think you'd really like it. And you can find those on Unlimited Hangout, or you can go to johnnyvedmore.com if you want to check out his work before he comes on Friday. He works really closely with Whitney Webb, and I'm excited for it. So join me Friday. Of course, we will not be on YouTube. No YouTube at all for the rest of the week. YouTubes are only going to be Tuesday for right now, and that's the show. I'm going to do my best to stay on it, but you guys can find us over on Rumble and Rockfin, and you guys have. Oh my gosh, we've had amazing viewership today. I'm so excited. I'm just happy that you guys are finding me. Let me see. Do I have anything else? Yes, DC, April 11th. Sadly, this is one of the times I will not be able to go. I just went in October, of course, and I would love to have been there, but it just costs too much. Every time, I'm traveling from the far Northwest all the way to DC. It is quite the adventure, and it takes a lot of money. And, the cost of traveling is going up, which is going to make it harder for so many of us to get out there. So if you're close within, a few hour drive, just shoot down there, go stand in front of the Department of Justice and show them that, hey, we care about Julian Assange, and 4 years of him being tortured in this prison is a fuck enough. Now, the Assange movement has made some great strides this week. Of course, there's the new movie coming out with Assange's family. I think it's called Ithaca. Go out there, follow the tweets. It's out there. I think Misty's got it up on her page. Of course, Misty yesterday hung out with Uncle Warren. I was in that chat. That was a fun chat. Gamer and everybody was hanging out over there. And then she was on Jimmy. She did Jimmy right after that. God, she is a busy woman. You get that done. But she makes great strides. And she has great points that, the right is really starting to get vocal about this. And they're really putting pressure. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene putting pressure on the squad who was supposed to always be for Assange in the first goddamn place, right? Or we never would have had them fought for them to get elected. So we just need as many as we can get out there in front of the Department of Justice, April 11th, 4 to 6 p.m. It's fun, guys. Somebody always brings sandwiches or coffee. You'll have a little tent, and there'll be buttons and shirts and information flyers, and then speakers, and because it's a Saturday, there isn't a lot of forces downtown. They might send a few to keep an eye on us. Like, there'll be a couple FBI agents, there'll be a couple of these agents, Department of Justice agents watching us. But for the most part, we've never been messed with. I've never seen us messed with in all of the times that we've gone, and I've gone a couple of times. So, and hey, let's write Julian Assange, guys. Write big, bold print. His eyes are getting bad from what we hear. So, just send him a happy message. I know if I was there, I would love to hear from people. Just like, hi, I'm from, Colorado, and I support you, and I've supported you for this long. It's, in his head, he's thinking, okay, somebody from Colorado, or send him a postcard from, California. I just show him we're here for him. Oh, how did that happen? Got out of sync. Okay, I want to thank you guys for joining me so much today, Tuesday, April 11th. Yeah, Fred. Hi, Fred. How are you? Nautilus, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to sling little girl 20. You guys help Misty out too. Misty needs to raise some money for this event, and we're all terrible, and it sucks to ask. And I know she needs it, right? We always have PA problems because we're always trying to use handheld shit and whatnot. So just help her out. Yona, thanks for joining me. And hey, Yona, let's hang out one of these times. I really love what you and Denver were into the other night. Saxa Voxa Vix, Jim, you guys are the best. We love our rock fenders. You guys are our stable group is our rock fenders, right? We know Rockfin's not going to come mess with us. And now Rumble's growing. We appreciate you, Rumble. Thank you so much, everybody who hung out in Rumble. Kate's over there. Arrow Waves. Patty Tweets. Hi, Patty. And one last shout out to the YouTubes. Uncle Warren, we need you to stop by and talk all about your presidency. Now that Oz is going to be down for a week or two, reach out to me. Or I'll reach out to you. Let's get something scheduled. I got plenty of time right now, and I'm kind of holding down the fort. I kind of feel like go start. Well, I'm going to sign up because you know me. I got to chats, Blood Blue Resistance, arm face green. For some reason, go start. When you try to put an emoji in there, it types out what it is. It doesn't put it in there. I don't know why. Just weird. Red Cloud, thank you so much for joining us all the way from the other side. Go Star, Bass Adams, Vix. Hey, if you guys aren't watching, we are on Thurston County Community Media on Saturdays. Oh, Vic, how's that going to be? There's no shows for 2 weeks. Reach out to us if that's a problem. Maybe I'll give you a Beauty in the or Trailer Park Pundit or something to stick in there if you need it. I didn't even think about that. Kim, hi Kim. So glad to see you. Everybody who's joined me over on all of the tubes today, thank you so much, and happy birthday to It's Cold Fusion Gaming. I know it's your birthday, and we got so many other birthdays coming up. Jem, I know yours is coming up. Pasta's is coming up. Oh, you damn Aries, man. There's so many Aries. Okay, I brought another Chris Cornell cover, guys. I can't help it. As we get closer to the anniversary of Chris Cornell's death, and of course he died May 18th, the same day that Mount St. Helens blew, my heart just gets heavy. It just ripped my soul out when he died. And I just think he was brilliant. I don't think so many people know of his music. That's why I feature it a lot, but I'll lay off. This is the last one I'll bring for a while. So you guys go out there, find out what's going on in the world, and have a great day. Don't let the man get you down. We know better.
Again. Is that